So I'm going to dedicate this presentation, which is very much a summary of nearly 30 years of experience of working in business and about 10, 15 years working in the intercultural sort of profession in and outside the intercultural profession. So I dedicate this summary of my next book to my family, number one. Second, to Francisco Varela. I don't know if anyone have here of Francisco Varela here. He was a Chilean neuroscientist and one of the founding members of the Santiago School. Anyone that is familiar with complexity, dynamic, and living system, I'm taking this now into this field. So I present this and dedicate this to Francisco Varela. But most important, I want to dedicate this to the younger generation of intercultural professionals. Personally, I think the older generation is stuck in a comfort zone, and they don't have a clue what is the comfort zone where they are stuck. So I'm going to deconstruct the comfort zone where the cultural profession is. Personally, I think the cultural profession is in a complete delusion of its own so-called success. I don't think we are successful because we are not influential, we are not persuasive, because what we do is not of the level that it should be. So what I'm trying to bring now is what will be the level that will give us more presence, it will give us more respectability, with more credibility as good professionals. I've been very much a consummated practitioner. I'm not an academic. I'm not stuck in one profession. I'm able to move from one profession to another. And I've been living and working in I don't know how many countries. I stopped counting less. And I have also worked for different types of corporate entities in different projects, different activities, in different sectors, at different levels, and different type of technology, name it. I've been trying to expose myself to so many exposure of knowledge, experience, and wisdom, and always open to learn. So for the young generation, I tell them, please be eternal students, eternal learners. Never stop learning. Okay, a little bit of my story. So as you can see, I come from a country of not just earthquake, but also of poets. So this is my little poets of how I introduce myself. And this is more or less what I think about myself. Someone that is deeply connected with nature. So this is the city where I was born. It's the city of Iquique in the north of Chile. Iquique was annexed by the British using the local elite from Peru and then the other ports of Bolivia. By 1905, Iquique has Germans, Scottish, Italians, Spaniards, Chinese, Bolivians. My city was already a melting pot. Let me tell you something straight away to provoke you, and it's this, that we don't know, or most of the majority of the people, including many of us, don't know that we are involved largely in a system of social control, the story of a social control, a human control system. And this system is a binary system, it's the story of a binary system, meaning it's a fictional story based on a set of beliefs, mythology, values, norms that we very much accept as universal, as neutral, as natural. So we accept these premises as natural, meaning we need leader because human nature needs leader. Well, gentlemen and ladies, this to me is not acceptable. So I don't believe this type of stories, but I do respect anyone that believes in this type of stories. This binary system is used widely in the profession. So let me explain to you briefly the binary system. The binary system is very easy. It's very much the logic, the rationality, yes, of different dimensions. So you see there, or it's on this side, or it's on the other side. This means, therefore, that the binary system is based on the assumption of 1 and 0. Later I will explain to you, as a mathematician or former engineer myself, a logarithm are based on the binary system. So this binary system is entrenched in everything we have. It's entrenched, and we think it's natural. We accept it as something that is taken for granted. And this is very much the result of what I call Greco-Roman, Judaism, and Christianity. And here are the main, let's say, exponents of this concept of binary and dualism. So this is a little summary on the key foundation of Western thinking. So Western thinking is very much founded on binary, on rationality, on logic, on linear, yes, on dual, on fragmented and mechanical thinking. And we think that all this way of thinking are totally acceptable and totally agreeable, and we use them widely. So a simple will be like this. So Mr. Trompenaar, the logic of the opposite, or you are individual or you are collective. Let's add another Cartesian behavioralist, linear, and then you put you in one quadrant, in the second quadrant, in the third quadrant, or in the fourth quadrant, and you are fixed in this quadrant. You can't move from this quadrant. So this is what we use on Cartesian behaviorism. You put pigeonholes for people, yes, to measure their behavior. So this is the more or less the encounter of how binary, logical, and rational become involved with religion, and how religion accepts them as the main kind of credibility of science. So these are the foundations of where we are today. I'm only referring here to Christianity, but to your surprise, in fact, in my opinion, there is no differences between religion, between ideologies, and between culture. The only difference is that some of the religions and some of the ideology and some culture may not believe in the story of a superhuman. That's the only difference. The rest, in terms of the norms, in terms of the habit, in terms of the values, in terms of the organizations, they're all the same church, as I call them. A political party is a religious party. Yes, indeed. It's an ideology based on a set of beliefs, in a set of values that are accepted by the members of the church. If you don't want to belong to the church, fine. But if you are against the church, you may be in trouble depending on the circumstances how this organization operates. And guess what? The same happens in culture, and the same happens in organizations. So for me, there are no large differences between these three elements of religion, ideologies, and culture. The only main difference is some religions believe in the superhuman, the story of a superhuman, some others don't, and some ideologies the same. Now, one of the most successful stories, talking about storytelling, is the story of money. And people believe the story of money. This is amazing. Yes? So, the roots of this, I don't have time, but certainly have to do, I will say, with 4 historical events. First is the Reform. Second is the Renaissance, or the Enlightenment. Third is the Industrial Revolution. And fourth is capitalism. Now, what capitalism does is put together a very interesting proposition, what I call the most successful marriage. The most successful marriage in human history is the marriage between science, religion, money, and the military. That's how the empire create. And the vehicle for this are large corporations. If you read the story of the British Indian Company and the Dutch West Indian Company, you wouldn't believe that the structures of the existing corporation has not changed that much. So this is the kind of things that we accept as natural. It's happening because it's had to happen. What I mean in this sense as well, as you can see there, the dates, this is very much the period when Cartesian philosophy, Cartesian mathematics, Cartesian propositions become the most important and the most influential and the most dominant form of thinking. And what Descartes does is something very profound, which is still affecting us. Descartes separates the nature from human beings, number one. He separates humans from humans, and he separates mind from body and body from soul. So this is what I call fragmentation. It fragmented our thinking. So for example, nature have nothing against human, absolutely nothing. Yes, nothing against human. Yes, but humans with humans, we have big problems. Yeah, big problems of coexistence between human beings. And ultimately, as I sort of, in terms of the cohabiting, so we have a problem of coexistence, and then we have a problem of cohabiting, meaning the raping, the violation, the exploitation, the destruction of our habitat, meaning this, yes, large corporation, and we accept this as natural, yes, use planet Earth as an endless way of cashing, yes, it's a cash machine. This is how I see it, and I have worked in very big corporations. Yeah, they treat planet Earth like a cash machine, yes, and in my view, I think we may have reached the point of no return, meaning the geological condition, the physical condition of our planet may have been broken to a state where it cannot regenerate again. And that is really an amazing story, because what we are doing, we are destroying our habitat, but at the same time we are destroying ourselves as human beings.